All right, welcome to the ranch here. So you'll have your own fairly private entrance. I do come through here hauling water and feed for my cows a couple times a week. So other than me or my family hauling for cows, we'll be the only ones in here. You'll be the only one in here. It's got a pretty decent driveway. There was some gravel down on it one time, like it's kind of grown over, but it's still pretty firm even when we get a lot of rain. I mean, if we got a lot, it might be troublesome, but other than that, it's actually pretty good. I've never got stuck in here, I'll be honest. So kind of pulling in. This is the yard site. You can see, that's the plant over there. We'll do a video tour, and there's a little house over there that's kind of for storage. There's kind of my miscellaneous scrap piles over here. Not garbage. I cleaned up all the garbage, but there is, there's a few old tires and pallets and chunks of wood that I might use at some point, some fencing material. Get out and take a look around here. So you've got quite a bit of area. I'll have to look it up on Google Earth, but I think it's close to 3 acres, like in this little site. So these posts will come out. They were just temporary fence posts we had in here, keeping some sheep in to eat the grass down. But I'll pull those out. There is a nice turnaround driveway in here leading to the Quonset. So you can drive this whole loop. Maybe I should have at the beginning of my video. So this Quonset is it's approximately 32 by 24 or 32 by 26. If it's important, I can measure it, but it's one of those two. It's definitely not fancy, but it'll keep the elements off of, keep the elements off you. So it's got a couple of barn doors. Those barn doors swing out. This is the inside, so it's just a dirt floor. You do get a little moisture in here in a wet spring. You will get some runoff. This door this door will accommodate about 10 feet tall by, what does that got to be? About 10 feet wide, I would say. Because this front wall is non-load bearing, if you had something like a big RV that you wanted to park in here, we could make that door bigger. Anything can be discussed, right? But yeah, this is it. It's an arch rib building. There's power in here. So as you'll note, we got both a 220 outlet and there's a couple 110s here. Breaker box there. I think I've got one light in the whole place. Just trying to think of how I remember to turn it on. I had the power turned off, that's why, at the pole. But yeah, that's the Quonset. There's like a mezzanine up there. That mezzanine is not safe for you to store any weight. So if you don't need to bring anything in that's big enough that would hit that, we're gonna leave it where it is. If you were bringing in like a big RV and needed to park it all the way in here, we can take that out. So again, anything can be negotiated for the right tenant. Power pole's over there, and there is power to it. Like I could go turn it on right now. We could turn those lights on. There's a secondary shut off at that pole there. The Quonset, I should mention, we said there's a dirt floor. I can put concrete in this thing pretty easily, again, for the right tenant. I mean, everything is depending on what you need. It's no point me spending, $6,000 to put concrete in if it's not needed, and if the rental rate is not, if you don't need it, you're not going to pay for it. But if you need it, let us know. We can put something in there. It's easy. The outside needs shingles. If we get this rented out, it will be re-roofed this year. If we don't, we might leave it another year. It desperately needs it, but we'll see how it goes. And yeah, you've got all this space too. So if you wanted to park a little RV out here and have your own kind of hideaway, you've got one. Grow a garden. There's actually an old garden spot just behind that house, actually, like kind of where I'm pointing right now. The yard is very nicely treed. There's some big spruce, lots of poplar. You're kind of secluded off the highway. A couple big spruce trees in the middle of the turnaround driveway here. There is an old septic tank. In theory, a guy could get it going again if he needed it for anything. It's in these, where is it? It's over here. There used to be a residence on the property. So there's the septic tank right there. There was a mobile home out here, and that's what these hooked up to. So that septic tank, and there's also a water cistern. So there's a fresh water cistern right there. That water cistern would need to be sanitized and cleaned out. There's a couple dead mice floating in it. So the water in there right now is not potable, not drinkable. Again, if required, anything's possible for the right tenant. This little house is just storage. It's not really good for anything else. People get excited about this thing all the time just because it's like kind of cool and it's ancient, and it probably came out of 8709 something in Edmonton. But it's in rough shape. But it, you know, we used it for some hay storage for the animals at one point, for the sheep that we had over here. Just a few square bales in case we needed them. There's hay on the floor, right? But you can see, like, there's quite a bit of water damage to the roof. Trusses are rotten right out. Like, it's not a building that you could do much with without putting a lot more money into it than it's worth, but it's great to have as a bit of storage. And then the end of the part that we'd be renting out would be at that fence you can see back there. I don't know if you can see that gate, but the cows will be all in this area here on the other side of the fence, and there you can see the gate there now. So you might hear some cows mooing while you're out here. If that bothers you, probably the wrong spot for you. But it probably won't bother you, and they're not that noisy, to be honest. Like, ever. We don't wean calves in this section of land, so they actually don't moo. And that's it. So as you can see, quite a bit of space. If you've got, you know, a trailer to park and you just want somewhere secluded, heck of a lot better than having hundreds of people all around you in town. It's got direct highway access too, in case that's important to you. If you've got big trucks or something, it's directly off of Highway 14.